Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at some more figures from the 6-inch line of the Black Series, and this time around we're going to look at the hero of the piece. This is of course Luke Skywalker, and as you can see he is based upon his appearance in Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. We do indeed get Luke in his Bespin fatigues with this figure, and in my opinion it's one of the best released in the 6-inch line so far. Some people hate it, some people love it, and I'll talk about those reasons in just a moment. I know I've said about most of these 6-inch figures that some of them have been the best release so far, but the detail and sculpt of this guy are absolutely top notch, and if you've had second thoughts or been a bit hesitant about picking this figure up, then rest assured this is definitely one that you're going to want to add to your collection. So before we talk about this figure, let's take a look at the packaging that he comes in. And as you can see, we get some really nice packaging with this figure. Once again, you have the presentation box style of packaging, which looks absolutely superb, and it really gives an adult feel to the box in which Luke comes in. So as you can see at the top of the box, we do have the glossy Star Wars Black Series logo. We also have an image of Luke himself, and then on the reverse side, as you can see, we have the character description and a stylized image from the film. This is of course an image taken from Luke's famous duel with Darth Vader, and with the upcoming release of the 6-inch Darth Vader, as I said, this is really a figure that you're going to want to add to your collection to recreate those iconic scenes. So there we go, that's the packaging for Luke. Now let's take a look at the figure inside, and as I said, really cool figure. Similar in some vein to the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure that I gave you a look at in a previous video, I wasn't expecting a great deal from this figure. As I said, I'd read previous reviews on this guy, seen images online, and he didn't look all that great. He looked a little bit off. But once again, seen it in person and received it in hand and played around with it a little bit, and it's a really cool figure. Really nicely detailed, nicely sculpted, and just very cool all around. Before we jump into the sculpt and articulation of the figure, first let's run through the accessories that he comes with. Did I say articulation? Yeah, we'll talk about accessories first. Lost track a little bit there. But the first accessory that he comes with is of course this blaster pistol, which is very nicely sculpted. This is very similar to the blaster pistol used by Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back, and it's a very nice design, very nicely sculpted, very faithful to the prop used in the film. This pistol can be inserted in a holster on the belt, and it fits in there nice and snug, which is always good. Although I do tend to pose my Luke figure with both the blaster and lightsaber in hand. Just looks that little bit more badass in my opinion. So of course he does come with a lightsaber, and it's really nicely sculpted. You've got all the buttons, switches and appropriate paint applications on there. Even the big gold ignition button. The blade is of course removable, and there is a hook on the bottom of the hilt which can be attached to the belt just there. As you can see, the overall sculpt and deco on this figure are really good. You've got some nice weathering on the fatigues there. Some nice dirt and grime stains on there, look really cool. Got some nice weathering and wear and tear on the boots, and you've also got some nice sculpted details on the belt as well. Obviously you've got all the harnesses for the holster, you've got all the pouches and hooks and clips on the belt. Really nice all around. The head sculpt is really nice as well. For those of you that don't know, Mark Hamill, who is the actor who played Luke Skywalker in the movies, actually suffered a car accident. I don't know whether it was prior to or during the filming of Empire Strikes Back, and he had to have a little bit of surgery following that accident. So in The Empire Strikes Back you can obviously see a little bit of change in Luke's face. Now a lot of people have criticised this head sculpt and said that it doesn't really look like Luke Skywalker, although in my opinion when you compare the two figures of Luke that have been released in the 6-inch line so far, you can really make those changes or make those differences out with the two head sculpts. The X-Wing pilot Luke figure looks a lot younger, a lot more fresh-faced, and this one, with all due respect to Mark Hamill, looks like he's been through the wars. You know, he looks like a little bit more, I don't know, not stressed, but he looks a little bit older, which obviously he would be naturally, and he just looks, you know, more like Luke does in Episode 5. So I really can't fault that head sculpt. The hair is very nicely detailed. You know, you've got all the highlights and different shades in the hair there. The only thing I will say is, like with Obi-Wan that I previously reviewed, do watch out for the paint applications on this figure. Some of them, you know, leave a little bit to be desired, although again, I've been lucky in the fact that I've been able to pick up one that has a reasonable paint application on the face. So do watch out for that if you're picking this one up in store. Other than that, this is a fantastic figure. Definitely one that I recommend grabbing if you see it in stores. And once again, with the upcoming release of the 6-inch Darth Vader figure in the Black Series line, this is a figure you really, really don't want to miss out on in order to create those famous scenes from The Empire Strikes Back. So top marks for this figure, and I hope you've enjoyed having a look at him. I'll be back with some more Black Series reviews very, very soon. I've got some very cool figures to give you a look at. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at this one. And until my next review, as always guys, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.